All right, guys, we hit a crucial weekend of the college football season for the Gamecocks and the Tigers. Let's begin with USC since they had the early kickoff in Missouri. They're heading west, maybe getting away from this bad weather to some degree, and they'll be taking on a team which in some ways mirrors them. Uh, Freshman quarterback, some issues on the offensive side. I guess maybe the big difference is Missouri has maintained a very good defensive team this year. I'm going to roll with the Gamecocks in this one. I like Nunez. I think the defense may be getting a little bit better here by the game. It's another opportunity against an offense that is not overpowering, that won't blow you away, for the defense to come up and make plays. Maybe they're getting more and more comfortable with John Hoke's defensive plan. So I like the Gamecocks here. I know they are a little bit of an underdog, not going to need the points. But I think it'll be a tight game. Historically, the short history between these two teams in the SEC, they've been down to the wire, fourth quarter overtime games. I look for the Gamecocks to eke out another close one.
I think it'll be a close game. I'm just still not in a position where I trust South Carolina on any level right now. They haven't looked good in a game yet. They haven't played a complete football game. They put together a few good quarters, a couple of good halves, but they haven't put together an entire game. They're going on the road with a young quarterback. I know Missouri is starting a guy that's brand new, but he still can't be any more inexperienced really than Nunez. He's played this season. Matty Mock was struggling. A lot of fans wanted to see that change. Missouri's 5-0 coming off a loss the past 2 seasons. Have a very good defense that's going to challenge the Gamecocks. So I think it'll be close. I think it'll be ugly no matter what. I don't think if you like offense, don't watch this game. There's not going to be a bunch of points. But at the end, I just give Missouri the edge because they're at home, and I think they have a better defense.
Yeah, I'm going with the Gamecocks because I think the worst case scenario for the front line for Missouri is a guy who can run and run with power at the quarterback position. Missouri would be interesting if they use the screen pass. Missouri looks like they give no assignments to their frontline players to cover the run or the pass. Remember 2 years ago, they screened them to death up in Columbia. I think the screen pass and the running of Nunez will bring the Gamecocks into, I'd say, a 3-point victory.
All right, now let's go to Clemson and Notre Dame in the Valley, where the weather indeed could be a major factor in this one. That aside, when I look at the two teams, both are missing some key players. Notre Dame more than Clemson, though the Tigers are missing a starting receiver. They're missing a starting center. But they do have many of their other main weapons in place. And anytime Clemson's at home with Deshaun Watson and Wayne Gallman going the way he is and Artavis Scott and that defense the way it's been playing, it's hard for me not to go with the Tigers. I think really the key for Clemson is going to be calming down. This game has been talked about as much as Dabo Swinney has tried to make this sound like it's just another game. We all know it's not. And we all know it's not because of those shiny gold helmets that are going to be inside Death Valley. So how quickly will Clemson settle down? I think back to 2 years ago, similar scenario with Florida State, and the Tigers made an early turnover that cost them, and Taj Boyd had an uncharacteristic bad day. Deshaun Watson can ill afford the picks that he had against Louisville. Those didn't really come back to haunt him. They may come back to haunt him here if that happens against Notre Dame. Protect the football, play your game, clean up your kickoff coverage, and I think you'll be fine. I like Clemson winning at home.
Well, I tell you what, this is you have to go back to the elements and who does it benefit. You almost think that because Notre Dame probably wants to stay on the ground more than Clemson, that they're kind of like it if it's a wet ball game. But I think Clemson, if anything, that Louisville game showed them that a strong running game can win you a football game as easily as having Deshaun Watson throw the ball down the field. A wet ball, I'm not sure what Deshaun Watson is like with a wet football. I don't think they'll need it. I think Clemson will run it at Notre Dame and pull out the win. I think probably a 4 to 7 point victory for Clemson.
Yeah, half a month to prepare. That's a long time to get ready for a football team. They are playing at home. This weather, it could be a monsoon when they're out there playing, but that could be a factor on some level, and it could dampen the crowd literally, and maybe the noise, and so that might be a little bit of an advantage. Maybe if you're Notre Dame, Clemson, that speed that they have, that might be an advantage for Notre Dame, really, if it's a soggy night there at Death Valley. But I still give Clemson the edge at home with that extra time, a healthier team going into this one. Big game for the Tigers, a statement game. So I think Clemson will edge one out by a couple of points.
All right, to summarize it, all three of us like the Tigers to beat the Irish, and that would certainly elevate them in the polls and keep alive their hopes of the playoffs. And as far as the Gamecocks and Missouri go, Pro and I like the Gamecocks and the K-Mac on the branch by himself with those Tigers.
That's where I live.
There you go. All right. Thank you for checking us out. Don't forget now our coverage on Saturday. I'll be in Missouri covering the Gamecocks and Mizzou. K-Mac will be at Death Valley for the Tigers and the Irish. You can get all the coverage from us on the website, sportstalksc.com, and on Twitter at SportsTalkSC.